Hi, Lulu here. Take a moment and think of one of your habits or behaviors that you feel completely stuck in. Something that feels old and stale and like you just can't manage to make a change with it. Did you come up with something? Most of us have. At least one or two things that feel like that. But there's a phenomenal tool we can use to start creating some space between that old, stuck, tired pattern and something new and fresh and more satisfying that could take its place in the future. That tool is curiosity. When we bring curiosity and an attitude of non-judgemental investigation to our stuck habits, we begin to create a little bit of space around them. Space that lets us imagine something new. When we can inquire with curiosity into what's really going on when we go onto autopilot with that behavior, we let ourselves have a little bit more choice about how we want to respond to whatever triggered us toward the habitual behavior in the first place. We also give ourselves the possibility of imagining a new way of showing up. When we can get curious about what's keeping us locked in place with old behaviors, we can also create the possibility of something new without trying to fix anything or wave a magic wand right now. So how do we do it? How do we cultivate this curiosity? We can begin by checking in with the wisdom of our body. Whether you're thinking about engaging in that usual behavior, like you already know you're going to pour a big glass of wine when you walk in the door tonight, even though there's a part of you that doesn't want to anymore. Or maybe you just did the behavior. You hauled off and were hollering at the kids, even though you really have an intention not to yell at them. That moment is when you can use the wisdom of your body and bring some curiosity. What's going on? What does it feel like in your belly when you're about to, or you just have, engaged in that habit? What does your other sensory information tell you about it? Maybe you hear a buzzing in your ear, or if it's a habit toward anger, you might literally feel that you see red or feel physical constriction in your body. Remember, right now we're not trying to change anything. We're just getting curious. Bring your attention to your breath next. You could do this again before or after the old habit plays out. Or you could even do it right now in a safe, quiet space. Maybe even closing your eyes and imagining your usual behavior for a moment. And noticing what happens with your breath when you think of it. Maybe it gets a little bit faster, a little bit shorter. Maybe as you imagine that old behavior, you actually start panting or your breath gets much louder and more labored. This is all just information sharing with you really the gut feelings that your body has to offer toward which habits are working for you and which are actually holding you down and in what ways. Finally, we can bring our curiosity to the brain, to our mental experience, investigating what kinds of attitudes or views are keeping us locked in that behavior. We can look at the logistics of how our life is set up. Maybe we have that intention not to yell at the kids, and we feel like we always yell at them when they hassle us to play another video game. But with the attitude of curiosity, we might discover, we don't always yell at them. The yelling only happens on days when maybe we missed a work deadline, or we didn't eat nourishing meals through the day to be sure that we had enough resources to respond gracefully when the kids started hassling. So we can investigate using the beautiful brilliance of our minds to get a clearer picture of what's going on with those habits. Finally, we can ask ourselves, what do we imagine taking the place of that behavior we want to shake off? Maybe we don't want to be the kind of person who yells at the kids about a mess. We want to be the kind of person who is open and flexible and can be kind even when the people around us aren't acting the way we would like them to. So we can use our minds again to imagine what that could look like. And also check in with our body and see how it feels when we imagine ourselves showing up in life with that kind of quality, that kind of presence, that kind of response to the cues and triggers that may not be going anywhere. Again, none of this is a quick fix. We're not trying to change anything with this investigation, not right now. We're just bringing a kind and gentle curiosity to the experience of how we show up in life. Like a science experiment. Just a little experiment to see what's really going on. I wish you a lot of luck with it. I'll be curious to hear whether you've had to cultivate some curiosity to find a new way to work with things that feel really stuck and really old. Please leave a comment below. Please have a curious and joyful day.